Your price is too high. That's what she said in the very first market in ancient Greece, the most common sales objection. And the reason I have put this in the first slide is to know that most of the sales objections have been there ever since the starting of sales or any kind of business, right? So all you need to do is learn and seek out. I'm going to make your job a bit easier and try to give you some ideas to think about, right? Now, most of the problem that come is that during the sales process, the control is taken away from the seller and it goes to the buyer because they have kind of leverage because they're the one who are in demand. Like we want to be in demand, but they are in demand. Everyone want more customers, right? But what we can do is we can not try to proactively give control, right? And that's if you listen to recordings of salespeople, that's what they do. Honestly, that's what I would do in many of the cases too. But let's start, right? So, very first thing that after you set up a meeting with a potential customer is you do a demo or a presentation, right? And this is what happens. No one asks for this, and the presenter goes and shows every single feature. Oh, this is here. Oh, this is here. See. We have 1,000 features in this, in our product. So there's no reason that you will not buy the product because it has everything. And yeah, that's what it is. It's not a two-way conversation. It's just a way to showcase that we have everything, and that should justify why you should buy from me. Now, one of the things I've seen with people is that in a demo, they don't aim for engagement. They're like, this is all the product is, and they think product will do all the selling because the product is great, right? And when they try to cold call the same salespeople, they don't tell about their product. They're just looking for engagement. Hello, sir. Are you looking for XYZ? No? Okay, bye. Tell your product. They don't know the product. Now, when they are bought in, when they have some initial interest, now try to find why did they have that interest so that you can use it throughout the sales cycle. And that's the only thing you will be using most of the time, other than few scripts to help you control the sales process, right? So the very first thing, so demos or presentations can be the deal breaker, right? The very first thing is during usually sometime the 5, 6 or 10-minute mark of the demo, person is like, okay, I get the gist of it, because they know you have shown the main features. They usually ask, okay, what's the pricing of it? Like how much does it cost me? And so once that thing comes now, your demo is spoiled. Your demo is spoiled. Then anything you do, if you don't answer that question, the person gets an idea of you're not sharing the price because it's probably a bit high. Maybe because you have not justified it, or maybe that feature does not justify it. So one thing that you can do to avoid all this thing is during the starting of the presentation, tell them, dude, this is the agenda of the presentation, and the second last thing that we will discuss is price, or the third last thing we'll discuss is price. So now they know, okay, the thing that they want, which is their leverage, they want to know what your offer is, what their pricing is, so that they can make their own calculations and negotiate around, bid competitors or vendors. So give them that, right? So that they don't disturb what you are trying to do in that demo, right? Also, they get what they want, you get what you want. Second, many times you won't know, but people will join. They're not interested. They're not much interested in what you have to sell. So they would rather like, I'm not gonna open up my computer. Let me just open it on my phone. So if they are on their device and you're showing the presentation on your desktop, ask them which device are you using. Because if they're using the mobile device, then you have to zoom in 400% so that they can see what's happening on the damn phone, right? Okay, now here's the thing. Remember when I told you that what the presenter goes and shows every feature? Don't do this. A better way to do it is you ask them. So before you want to show an XYZ feature, for example, one of the feature is, let's say a feature is that how do you track that an email is opened? How do you track if you are being ignored? So email opening is a different thing, but how do you know if your message is being ignored? The person is like, because the person did not reply to my email. Okay, but what if your email was never opened? I don't know that. Yeah, how are you managing that? I'm not managing that. So you don't have visibility. No, I don't have visibility. Okay, so let me show you something that will bring you visibility, right? So then you show the feature, and then you show the 10 things your thing will track once, uh, they're gonna buy your stuff. So always ask her. We are seeing in the market that this is a problem. So usually, rather than sometimes people will not tell you. Like in the starting of the demo, they want to get all the leverage from you. They want to see everything that you have to show, and so they're not gonna tell you more about their situation because they know it's not useful, because they're coming from a point, why should I tell him that? Let me decide if I want to buy the product. Let him give me all the information and let me decide, right? Uh, but that won't help you. To be honest, that won't help the other person also. But people are also very reluctant to give in information. Right? You need to know this dynamic. Some of this is common, but it's better remembering this stuff. So what you can do is you can say, so for example, one of the pitch that I use in my business is we call and say, sir, what we are seeing with B2B companies these days is they're trying everything. They're trying email outreach, they're trying LinkedIn outreach, they're trying cold calling, they're trying advertising, and they feel nothing works or nothing works as great. And when another agency comes and pitch them like us, they are like, how are you different? You're going to do the same thing. But sir, let me ask you. And then we go into the pitch, okay, your emails are going to spam. They're like, no, we don't know, sir. How will you know if your emails are not, if your emails are going to spam, then how will people reply? Are your LinkedIn messages 4 lines long? Do they, the user experience of LinkedIn, do they come out of the box? Like, you can't see the whole message in one box. He's like, I don't know, I've never saw that. So there are few things, and when we go into technology, sir, are you using this kind of automation? Are you using marketing automation, or are you using sales enablement automation? You're like, there's a difference? Yeah, there's a difference. So now the person is like, okay, now we have educated them that these things exist, right? Now this person is much more willing to tell, okay, now he's going to ask, what are these things? Or we can ask them, sir, how are you managing this? Let's say, how are you managing streamlining all the different channels for your sales outreach? He's like, I'm not. So I'm like, okay, there's a sales enablement tool, right? So now I know the information he's not streamlining, and he knows something. So you see how both of them help. So we usually think that we are seeing the XYZ in the market. So tell them, okay, we know about your market, and then say, how are you managing this problem in your market? And most likely they will not be aware, or that will not be a burning pain, right? So this is, and then you go into the feature. Okay, so now during every feature, there's an opportunity for you to discover more about the client using this approach. And I'm going to dive deep. But basically, this is the common mindset of people. They say, I'm going to show them every feature I have. So see, we have everything you can think of in this kind of product. So because we have everything, that means our product is more valuable. It's better. But usually what the person sees, okay, if they have everything, all I'm going to use is these 3 things. They're probably, the price is high because I'm going to use just 3 things. Rest things I don't even know. The person is like, okay, this product is either expensive or not a fit for me. And usually what happens is the people who are selling have never been on the other side of the table. They have not actually went buying the service or a tool of such expensive level. So they sometimes don't know. But yeah, this is one of the things. That's why I say show only the main features, right? And every time you show the feature, try to discover, link all feature with a pain, and try to discover if there is a pain. If they don't have a pain, don't show the feature. Otherwise, they're like, okay, this is not gonna integrate with my system because 50% of this I'm already doing some other way or with some other tool, right? So customize your demo, not show everything. So the very first thing you're gonna ask me is, how do we set an agenda, right? So I'm gonna show you a screen. Just read through it, take a screenshot of it, and I picked this screenshot from a company called Gong. You can see in the bottom of the slide. So they have done great master classes on sales. Go through them also, but still for the timing, go through this. So over here, if you see, you tell them the agenda said, our goal is to simply determine whether your product would be a strong fit for you. so that if you go further into this process with us, it's gonna be time well spent. So you're very clarifying, okay, we want to make sure it's a strong fit, right? Second thing, by the end of the call, I like you to be in a position where you are either interested and we plan the next steps, or you're not interested. So there's no option C, right? You tell me that and we avoid wasting time. So avoid wasting your time, you avoid wasting my time. Is that fair? Everyone is going to say yes, that's fair, right? If they say it's not fair in the very starting of the demo, you're like, okay, something is wrong. What went wrong? Let me look at the marketing process. And now to achieve that, I have set 30 minutes aside. Do you have any hard stop coming up that I should know about? And you could adapt it in your local language. Like if you do demos in your local language, you can adapt the same thing so that okay, this person is, has a hard stop in 25 minutes. So you plan the next steps accordingly. Great. So I plan on covering A, B, and C could be pricing, A, B, and pricing. And is there anything you want to add or remove that from that agenda? You're like, no, I'm fine. Pricing is in the last. Great. Sounds good. Let's get started. So now over here, what you have done is you said, okay, we want to establish it's a strong fit. You tell me if you're interested or you're not interested, right? And then you come back and you can, you come back to the agenda full circle and you put this slide back on and you say, so are you interested? Do you think it's a strong fit? Oh, it's not a strong fit. So what are your concerns, right? We're going to go into objection handling. Now, immediately when you're going to start, right, the person is not giving you information. So you have set the agenda, it's like fine, but he's not giving you information. Right now you are speaking, you are in momentum, the person is not. So now you have to tell them you know about their industry, right? And you start talking about the challenges in their industry that you see, right? And at which point they are. So let's say this is your offering. Before your offering, they are in point A. After your offering, they're going to point B. So talk about point A and how bad point A is, or how unsustainable point A is. So there's a pitch. So in this thing, what they're basically trying to say is they're trying to sell a furniture to a retailer, and they're saying that our furniture is formaldehyde free. And so there's one pitch. One pitch says we supply blah blah blah. It's healthier, greener. Your customers will love it. Person like, yeah, you will make good money. Yeah, whatever. Right. Other pitches, they come up with facts. American citizens are becoming more health conscious and wary of dangerous chemicals. They're like, yeah. And you're like, so Google search for this thing is up this much %. You're like, oh, okay. So this thing is in demand, right? And we help you guys make good on this opportunity, because that's why we provide this kind of service, right? So the pitch too is much better. Now what will happen is, after you are saying all this, right, what will happen is now he's gonna start to agree or disagree, right? So one of two things will happen. Now you have opportunity to start asking questions at this point, and you see we have still not gotten into features. We have still not gotten into features yet. So you start asking questions like, so there are two types of questions. One question is very simple, sir. What's your X? Right? Short question will probably have a short answer. Another question is a question that has much more detail specific. So if I go to another marketing company, I talk them, dude, how is your outreach going? What are your open rates? What is your click rate? Do you set up these DNS records? So the more, it's funny, but my question will have but more jargon. So jargon also showcase that I know about the industry. So it's a bit, counterintuitive. Try not to use much jargon, but a bit of jargon to give the idea that you know their industry, right? So ask a question so that you can get longer answers. And if you see the question over here is, can you help me understand? Can you walk me through? Right? When you say, can you walk me through, he has to give you a 2 or 3 line answer. So you have much more info to work with. After that, when you have this info, then you can ask like, sir, okay, I have your info. Now you can combine your own knowledge. Okay, so you have this problem. We are also seeing these problem in these other companies. So let's say he gave you a little bit of answer. Now what you do is you get more of your knowledge and add on to that answer. You make that answer bigger. Oh, you're not getting leads. Sir, probably you're not getting leads because uh, A, you're not able to reach many people. B, uh, you know, the message is not resonating with people. C, if both of these things are there, your offer has some big commitment, right? So, sir, so this is usually because A, you're not able to reach because you're not great at technology, and second, your messaging is not good because you basically don't know the tactics and techniques. Last is your offer is high commitment. That means no one has taken a second look at the offer. So, sir, what concerns like this do you think you uh, is happening in your world, right? So now I'm still asking more questions, but I'm adding more my information. So you can say, sir, I'm curious. What does these challenges look like in your world, right? And this is, by the way, don't front load all the questions in the starting. I'm giving you tactics. You can start, like, you can ask some questions, then you show him something, then you ask some questions, you show him something. Don't start interviewing him, right? I'm just giving you tools because we rather focus on telling everything rather than asking something during the demo. So yeah, break down all the questions. Don't front load it and don't make it an interrogation. So this is called education based discovery, right? And this is to understand what problem your prospect resonated with, and this is the keyword I have highlighted it, agreed with, right? So if they have not agreed to a problem uh, that your product or offering solve, people solve problems, right? uh, Growth is also a problem, right? So if they don't agree with the problem, you don't have opportunity. You do not have a sales opportunity. You just have a lead if the person has not agreed to a problem that your offering can solve, right? This is called problem agreement.